year. And here the Hebrew date happens to be the 22nd of Kislev, Chav Bet Kislev. It marks the Hilula of a really great Moroccan rabbi. His name was Rabbi Avraham Abuhatzeira Z'tl, also popularly known as the Baba Chana. He was born in English year 1915, passed away, to be precise, on the 17th of December in English year 1973. He was approximately, at time of passing, around 58 years of age. Now he'll become the rabbi of Yevna, a prominent area in Israel, and ورمله. Very interesting enough, he was famously the son of Rabbi Yitzchak Abuhatzeira, also known as the Baba Chakai. Really great rabbi, and great rabbi in of itself, and very much was, I believe, had really great rabbinic heritage in of itself. The Abuhatzeira rabbinic dynasty, many great rabbis. Let's explore a few of the highlights of the great rabbi's life. Now, he was born in Morocco in an area called Risni, a place we've spoken on various occasions before in this series in of itself. He was born, his father was a great rabbi, Rabbi Yitzchak Abuhatzeira, the Baba Chakai, who we mentioned before, who he himself happened to be the son of Rabbi Masud Abuhatzeira, the son of the famous Abir Yaakov, the Rabbi Yaakov Abuhatzeira. Naturally, his mother's name was Rabbanit Esther, so really came from great heritage in of itself. And we've spoken, I would recommend everyone to watch over the video we said within regards to Rabbi Yaakov Abuhatzeira. And when he was young, he studied, I believe, with his grandfather, Rabbi David Abuhatzeira, I think in the synagogue, and inside various different Batei Midrashim, and he came very close to him, very in of itself. So he was learning inside Beit Midrash and had strong kesher. It's interesting, the Baba Sali, I think, actually said himself, it was quoted, Baba Sali being Rabbi Yisrael Abuhatzeira, expressed it and stated how Rabbi Avraham was really close, how close he was actually to his great-grandfather in of itself, how much of a great connection they were, because they were really great and imbued in the Torah in of itself. So he actually testified to, I'll say the words. The Baba Sali said, Rabbi Avraham haya mamash ziv ikonin shel sabo ha'gadol atar Rabbi David, shaya domeh lo ma'od, b'to'ar panav o b'mkomota, b'tzelmo kedumoto. This is what's quoted over. I hope I pronounce, my Hebrew is not the best in the world. I think for many years he would actually learn with the Chavruta, with, I think, his brother-in-law, and Rabbi Meir Abuhatzeira, I think in yeshiva in an area called Bodniv. This also is an area, I think, let's just say in of itself, I think close to Tafilalat, if I'm not mistaken, by the Atlas Mountains, if I'm not mistaken. Afterwards, he would learn inside yeshiva in the area of Arpod. This also, once again, is another prominent place where there was a great Jewish community in Morocco. And then come with English year, 1930. At that stage in time, he would only be like 15 years of age. I think 1930. He was 15 years old. It was reported over. He got married to Rabbanit Rachama. And remember, in those days, many people got married younger than naturally in those days. And I think she happened to be the daughter of the great famous Rabbi Yisrael Abuhatzeira, very interestingly enough. And after that, I believe in the year 1949, when he was about 34 years of age, he would actually make Aliyah and move to the land of Israel with his, I think also his father came, Rabbi Yitzchak, and his family in of itself. They came to Eretz Israel and they would actually settle in the area of Yevna. Very interesting enough. And then he would actually be appointed over there to become the rabbi of that specific vicinity. I think this was a position, a tenure, which lasted for 20 years, which was a very prominent position, which we have to point out. And it's actually interesting, many of the family would eventually come to Israel, and many of the great rabbis over there would take on various different prominent positions. I believe actually in the year 1941, if I'm not mistaken, the Baba Sali actually immigrated to Israel and lived near him in Yavna. And I believe a Talmud, a Torah, and the yeshiva was established in that vicinity in himself, and which was very prominent. Many great Talmidim actually came from this grandiose place, let's just say, in of itself. I think it was called the Beit Tzadikim Ya'amod, if I'm not mistaken. And there was many tens and tens of families over there, if I'm not mistaken, of people. I think established Rabbi Avraham did a midrash, let's just say, called the Torah Or, and there was kolelim for Avraham, for adult, let's just say married people, to men to learn in those different institutions, to garner a very great Torah level in of itself. Rabbi Avraham was, I believe, he was also an expert mohel, performing a Brit Milot over there when a baby is born, and really was just a very great rabbi in of itself. It's actually interesting. I think, come what the year, I think 1963, the Baba Sali came. I think he was coming and going to Eretz Israel, and I think he would actually stay with Rabbi Avraham part of the time inside his vicinity, which is very interesting enough. So he had a lot of great tzaddikim by his side, much of the various different periods of time, and I think he helped provide all needs and so on and so forth. I think, actually, interesting enough, I think the Baba Sali would eventually move to Ashkelon and then to Netivot, which has to be pointed out also. I believe his father passed away in the year 1970. And this was, I think to be precise, on April the 2nd in the English year 1970. And then he had to take on, brought about much more responsibility at that point in time. And he was doing a lot more work at that point in time. I think he was living in the area of ورمله at that point in time, and he was appointed, I think, the rabbi of the city, which is a very prominent position. He moved from Yabna now at this stage in time, and I think actually in Yabna, Rabbi Yosef Abuhatzeira would actually eventually come in. Rabbi Yosef Abuhatzeira, being another great rabbi, passed away in July 2001, if I'm not mistaken. Rabbi Avraham, I think he kept this position till he passed away on Chav Bet Kislev in the year Tafshin Lamed Dalet. I think that was, as we said before, in the year 1973. So it was for a few years. After he passed away, I believe his brother, Rabbi Yechiel Abuhatzeira, will become the rabbi of ورمله. Rabbi Yechiel Abuhatzeira was born, I think, in the English year 1944. Was is a really great rabbi, and very much rabbi of ورمله in of itself. Now, his son, Rabbi Yaakov, I think, established a yeshiva and the kollel in ورمله in his memory, I think, called the Eshel Abraham, and the kollel Abraham Ohavi in Jerusalem, if I'm not mistaken. And his son, Rabbi David, established, I think, a synagogue and a Beit Midrash called Eshel Abraham in the city of Rehovot. And the kollel also for the Avraham in of itself. And among his mishpacha, among his family, himself, they're really great. I would recommend everyone to watch the video we said on the Abuhatzeira dynasty in of itself. I think his wife Rachma was actually born in the city of Tafilalat, if I'm not mistaken. And sadly, I think her uncle Rabbi David Abuhatzeira was murdered when by Muslims, cruel Muslims, as we stated before in the previous army, when there was a occupying French army at that stage in time, I think she passed away in September 2010, if I'm not mistaken. His brother Yechiel Abuhatzeira, as we said before, become the rabbi of the city of ورمله, and Rabbi Aaron Abuhatzeira would become, that's his brother, would become a member of the Knesset and also a minister. Now, he left behind a great Torah colossal work, also, which was actually gathered into a book called the Toldot Abraham, if I'm not mistaken. Very great book. I think this was printed in the English year 1980. If I'm not mistaken. So he was a really great rabbi. Chav Bet Kislev is his silula. Please don't forget to light candles in the great rabbi's memory. Please, if any of you are related to any of these great rabbanim, please send me an email. I'd love to hear more. We're a community here. We're learning about the great rabbis of yesteryear. I'm wishing you all well. Take care and have a great day.